We are live. It is Coach Benny here and Coach Tasha, who is our Rebel Fit food coach. And today we are going to talk about the truth about why diets don't work. If you're on the Facebook page, you see that I posted something today talking about some truths that most people can't handle when it comes to fitness. And one of those truths are about diets and why they don't work. And people thinking that people think that they can look at food and make a decision on based off of, oh, this isn't that amount of food. And, I can eat this certain amount of food because it's in here and it doesn't look like it's 500 calories, but don't understand the density of the calories that they're eating. And just different things. So we want to talk about the truth about why diets don't work today. And, a lot of people prescribe to a lot of different things. I talk to people all the time, and I know Tosh does all the time. And everybody's always said, oh, I'm on keto. I've heard them all, like literally have heard them all. Keto, one is, they have liquid diets. They have
juice diets.
Huh?
You got the juice diets.
Yeah, you have your juice diets. You have your
water fasts.
We got all different kinds of things. So we're going to talk about a lot of why those things don't work today. And we have something which is going to be awesome that's coming up. We have a no snacking challenge that's going to be coming up here soon, November the 8th through the 21st, or the stop snacking challenge. November 8th through the 21st. I'm going to put a link to it in the comments right now. So if you guys want to do it, it's absolutely free. All right, it's an absolutely free challenge for everybody to do. Put that in the comments. Stop snacking challenge. All right, I put that in there for you guys. So if you're interested in doing that, if you're interested in doing the Stop Snacking Challenge, you guys can register for that. It's absolutely free. So we're going to talk about that here in a second. So if you are watching this live, please put live in the comments. And if you're watching this on the replay, put replay in the comments as well. And we're going to go through this. So let's talk about it real quick, all right? The truth about why diets do not work, all right, or don't work. And the reason is because they are truly unsustainable. So the truth about why diets don't work is, like I said, they are unsustainable. If you are required to cut an entire food group, or how you can tell that your diet doesn't work is that if you are required, or if it's unsustainable, let me say that. If you are required to cut an entire food group out of your meals, food groups meaning no carbs, that's a true sign, or your first red flag when it comes to a diet. So if you are required to cut an entire food group out, if you are required to restrict calories, you'll see some calories as low as like 850 calories in a diet. All right. If you are required to drink some type of magic potion, some type of shake, some type of weight loss drink, or anything of the nature, or if you are required to live off of soup, there is 100% that chance that this will not be something that will last long for you, or something that won't be sustainable, right? So the real problem with dieting is that it's an all or nothing type approach, and there isn't a long-term approach. So we all often preach that if you can't see yourself doing something for the rest of your life, meaning that if you take on a soup diet, and if you can't live off of soups for the rest of your life, if you feel like you need, that you're at some point going to need solid foods again, then the soup diet is not for you. Okay. If you feel like you can't drink juices for every meal for the rest of your life, then a juicing diet is not for you. Okay. So that's the approach, or that is the mentality that you should have when you're thinking about long-term approach when it comes to food, right? When foods are allowed or not allowed, or good or bad, you're following an all or nothing plan. Okay. There is no such thing as good food or bad food per se. Okay. And no diet should tell you what you're allowed to eat from what you're not allowed to eat as well. Okay, unless you have some type of medical challenge of some sort, I would not suggest that. Tosh, how do you feel about that?
I would agree. The only thing that I would put in there as another type of provision is if you have some sort of ethical, religious beliefs of certain things, then yeah, you'll cut that out. But then if you are of that mindset, then it's going to be something that you're willing to cut out altogether. So in case of that, I'm talking about like vegan, vegetarian, plant-based folks, they're making that commitment to ideally lifelong take this particular food group or stop eating these particular foods for a lifetime. The other thing I would say or just like clarify is because people are going to be like, but what if I'm doing something just to get ready for an event or to get ready for a vacation? Totally get that as well. However, you definitely need to have a plan for once that is up. The issue with most of these diets and things of that nature is that you'll do it for 30 days, 14 days, 5 days, 72 hours, but then it's like, cool, what's up after that time frame is over with?
Right, right. So we're not saying that that it's all applies. There are some people who this would apply to, with a few exceptions, but those plans fail. The ones who just take things out because they feel like they need to restrict themselves from certain things and, not based off of medical or religious beliefs or, some of the things that we mentioned, every single time those plans fail because, let's be honest, this is real life. Okay. So the next time you think about a new plan that you're going to start on Monday, right? Because we all make that decision. I don't know why Monday's always that like that.
It's like the beginning of the week. You think like, okay, I'm going to start fresh, because usually what happens before a diet is a binge.
Right.
So it's like, hey, I got the weekend to while out, and then on Monday I'll start all over again.
Yep. So just remember that when you're starting on Monday, just remember that if you won't eat that way 2 years, 2 months, 2 weeks from now, save yourself from the frustration, save yourself from the torture, right? Pick something that is sustainable, right? Because that's where the magic happens. That's where everything happens when you buy in and you believe and you think that you can do this for the long term. So if keto is something that you feel that you can do from now for the next 3 years, then keto is not a diet for you, right? If you feel like intermittent fasting is something you can do from now till two years from now, then that's not a diet for you. But if you feel like you're just doing it for the next 2 weeks because you want to drop 10 pounds, right? Then that's not that. Then that would also, or that will be a diet for you. And we don't want you dieting. We want you eating, right? We want you to fall in love with healthy foods as opposed to dieting, right? Changing your habits, right? It's not the most sexiest approach. We all know that, right? It's not the most sexiest approach, but it's the approach that works, right? Because I can guarantee you, if I talk to somebody who's just making a decision based off of what they see their friends doing or based off of what they feel like society or the media is telling them that they should go because it's the newest, greatest thing, then I guarantee you, if I talk to them a couple weeks from now, I'll be like, you know what, I lost a couple of pounds on that diet, but then once I switched to this, I gained it all back, right? And that is the approach that we don't want to see, but we see that all the time. We see people kind of stringing and looking for things and pulling on to things that they don't necessarily plan on doing for a long extended period of time. And what that ends up doing is yo-yoing back from this diet to that diet, and it's extremely unhealthy and can also do some things to your metabolism, right? Am I right with this, Tosh? That you necessarily may not understand. So give them a little bit of insight when it comes to that, as far as the yo-yoing part from switching from one thing to the next.
Well, the thing is that your body is very smart. And your body doesn't care about your goals. It is all about survival. And we also have to realize that we are working, like, even though we are in modern times, we're working on a very prehistoric framework. So whenever, it used to be feast or famine, right? Like we were out, hunter gatherer type of thing. We found a lot of food, we gorged on a lot of food, and then we could go days without finding real sources of food. Yeah, we may do like berries or something like that, but like real big sources of food, they were not readily available. So, but we also walked a lot. We're also very active. So we're in a very different time frame, but a lot of those frameworks are still the same from back in the day. So when we go on these diets where we are going super low calorie, the thing is that your body makes adjustments based on that. So it's like, okay, if you do that for a certain period of time, then it actually slows down your metabolism, slows things down because it's always trying to reach a point of homeostasis or just like what's the new norm. So then you stop that diet. Plus, of course, it starts messing with those hormones as well. So you have two hormones that regulate food. You have what's called leptin and ghrelin. One is telling you when you're full. The other one is telling you when you're hungry. When we do this whole dieting thing, it throws it off. So it's thinking you're eating a lot less than your set point. Okay, like we're trying to trigger you to eat more food, or we're trying to let you know like you're not full yet, right? And if we don't really give into that because we have the willpower, then eventually our body's like, all right, word up, then we'll just slow things down so that that's our new set point. And then once that diet's over, you start eating again regularly because we're human, that's what we do. Then now you're going off of a lower metabolism and you're eating more calories. And that's how you can start that whole thing where you're like, yo, not only did I gain the weight back, I gained even more. And yeah, because everything got slowed down to meet that new baseline. So as you keep yo-yoing, it keeps yo-yoing as well.
Yep. So there's a couple of things, probably three, and then Tosh could probably add to this as well. But these are the three things that I came up with when you're going to make a decision about, picking a certain style of or lifestyle or habit of what you're going to eat, right? Mm-hmm. So number one is figure out what works for you long term, right? That's the first thing. Is this going to work out for me from now for the rest of my life? Because this is a decision that I'm making to eat, whether that's paleo, whether that's any type of thing that you decide to do. Is this going to work for me long term? Okay, so that's the first thing that you want to do. The second thing you want to do is make sure it fits your lifestyle, right? Because let's say if you have a family per se, you decide to go rogue and go one thing, and then your whole family is eating something else. And then now you're figuring out, how am I going to cook for myself? And then how am I going to cook for my family? And then it becomes this big stressor of what you're doing. And then you're not understanding if this is something that's going to work for you because it's added more stress, added more pressure to you than it should because, it's not working right now. So make sure that it fits your lifestyle. That's the second thing. And then the third thing you want to know or do is ask yourself, why am I really doing this, right? Why am I really doing this? What is the end result, right? What is the real baseline of me wanting to do this? Am I doing this because I'm seeing everybody else doing it? Am I doing this because somebody's told me I should do it, right? Or is it something, or is it an impulsive decision? Or is it a decision that you're really making for yourself that's really going to benefit you long term, right? Once you get down to the why and you ask yourself, this question, then you're going to really figure out or get down to the basics or the foundation of it. Then you're really going to figure out, is this something that I'm really doing with the best intent, right? Am I trying to lose, am I juicing for the next 5 days because I want to lose 5 or 10 pounds, right? How is that going to make me feel? All of those things are questions for you. And then ask yourself, is it worth it, right? Well, I guess that should be the next thing. Is it worth it, right, for what I'm trying to accomplish? Tosh, you got anything else?
That's a big one, is the why. And it's also kind of getting even a good idea of what you want to do long term. Sometimes if we just kind of think things out, list things out, it can give us a lot of clarity. So going back to one of the things that you said before, okay, why is it that you want to do this? Okay, if it is something where it's just like, I just need to drop a couple pounds just for this event, okay, maybe that's cool. But if it's just like, no, I need to make a complete lifestyle change, then don't use dieting as that segue to get into that complete lifestyle change, because again, it's all about what are you going to do after that diet is over. And then, even though this is going to sound negative, what I like to do anytime I make a decision or coach clients to do the same thing is that, okay, what can go wrong? what are some of the obstacles that you may encounter while you're trying to do this diet? What if you choose to take a vacation or you're not at home where, this particular thing available? What are some of the ways that you're going to overcome those obstacles as well? Because that can let you know, like, this might not be the best idea. If you're doing a juice fast, let's say for 30 days, one, are you financially ready to do that? Definitely what's up with the family. But then also, like, what if you have a trip planned? What if you're not at home? Are you going to be bringing these juices with you the whole time? So it's just really making an idea of like what happens if something goes wrong, and to really have, an obstacle for that. But again, when you're doing sustainable eating, you're able to make those decisions a lot easier than, oh my God, I'm at a gas station and I'm keto. What do I do?
Right. So you're able, so from what I'm gathering, you're saying like when you do something that's more sustainable for your lifestyle, you're able to take that program or take that eating style anywhere. Like you're
Ideally,
able,
yeah.
Yep.
Because I mean, like I've gone on road trips. Actually, just got back from one, and I know that you can get things at the gas station that can be something that works towards your goals. But it's, again, you have to have that mind. And actually, that's another point of it. You have to have the right mindset for these things too. Like, are you willing to do this long term regardless? It's not like, oh, this isn't easy, now I'm just going to fall off. It's like, this isn't easy, but I'm committed to doing fill in blank. So let me look a little bit harder for options.
So I have a story, and it's quite funny because it just
Oh,
happened.
I have no doubt. Let
It
me sit back.
literally just happened to me yesterday, and I was
Okay.
like, and I don't knock anybody's style of eating or anything like that. If you're a vegan, if you're vegetarian, my dad is a whole heart. He's been a vegan his entire life. My stepmother's been a vegan her entire life. They started off vegetarian and then they went vegan. So I grew up in that type of environment. But yesterday I ordered Chipotle, right? And I ordered it via the Uber Eats, right? And I ordered a bowl. It was a bowl. It was a bowl, and they forgot to add my chicken, right? So I had the beans, I had the rice, I had a little bit of guac, I had the lettuce, I had everything in there.
Oh, Benny.
But they forgot to add my meat, right? And like I said, I'm not knocking anybody's thing because a lot of people eat like this, and that's absolutely fine. But I knew yesterday that a vegetarian lifestyle would not work for me, right? Or a vegan lifestyle would not work for me. I ate it because it was in front of me and I was starving, right? But I ate it at that time and moment. But when I tell you, like, it was probably one of the most unfulfilling processes in my life. Every chew, I was like, where is my meat? Where,
oh my God, Benny.
every chew I was looking for it. I was like, oh, again, it's gone. It was like something was missing. It was so noticeable for me, and it was so heartbreaking. Every bite was heartbreaking. I was like, how would this taste with some chicken right now? Right?
Well, that was because you were expecting chicken too.
Yes.
But if you would have if you would have had the mindset of, okay, I'm eating a vegetarian meal, it probably wouldn't have been that bad for you.
Oh my gosh. It was every bite was heartbreaking.
Oh my
I tell you
God.
this.
Heartbreaking, Benny.
It was every bite was heartbreaking. Every bite.
That's so dramatic.
It was though.
But you know what? I will say this. So my brother-in-law, I hung out with my family this past weekend, and my brother-in-law went into the same situation. It was a pickup. Was it pickup? Yeah, it was pickup order. It was a pickup. So they forgot chicken as well, and he had like a noodle bowl. It was from this place called Tin Drum, and it was a noodle bowl, and it didn't have the chicken. And he was like, "Wait a minute, where's my chicken?" And my sister is pescatarian. My mom is plant-based as well, and has been as long as I can remember. And I was plant-based at one point. So I was just like for a decade plus. So I was like, okay, it doesn't have chicken, like whatever. No, this dude called the restaurant, went back to get the chicken. He was like, nope, because it was around the corner. He's like, no, you're giving me my chicken. And I understand he paid for it. They were going to refund the card. He was like, no, I want my chicken. And I was like, oh my God.
Juana says, I love Chipotle's veggie bowls, and trust me, I eat meat.
Talk to him.
Listen,
I think it was just the
listen,
mind
I'm
of
not
the
knocking it.
expectation.
I'm not knocking it, but it was at that, no, you know, you ever see that meme? It was at that moment. It was at that moment that I realized I would never be plant-based. Okay. It was at that moment that I realized that plant-based would not work for me. Maybe it's because I was expecting chicken.
You were expecting chicken, so you had it in your mind, and
Oh
you
my
didn't
God.
get that reward from like you're hungry and everything. It was all a mindset. Like that was a total
It
mindset.
was crazy because the first bite was like, okay. It was like, okay, maybe I didn't get the chicken in this one because I was working and I wasn't like I was like working. I wasn't really paying attention, and you know how I eat. I eat kind of fast, so that's a whole
kind of.
that's kind of like a conversation. But I was eating kind of working. I was the first bite. I was like, I scooped it up. I'm like working. I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't get a piece of chicken that bite. You know, maybe I'm just gonna get it on it. You know, and then after that, I like hit the second scoop, and I was working. I was like, wait, hold up, something missing from this joint. What's going on? What's going on? I'm not really like, did they cheat me a little bit on the chicken? Maybe they got a little light. So when I looked over to my left, I looked down. I was like, wait, hold a minute. And I started scraping the joint. I'm like looking through, fiddling through.
I can see this in my head. I can see this in my head.
I was like, yo, there is no chicken in here. And from that moment on, it was a struggle. I was like, okay, you know what? I was like, I tried to change my mindset right then and there. I was like, you know what? At this point, I am going to change my mindset into eating this without chicken. And then I ate it. And every time I ate, I was just missing that feeling of having my chicken, man.
Now, the thing is, you chose that struggle because I know that there are things that are, were you at home or were you at the basement?
Work.
Dude, there's places around where you could have gotten some chicken.
Nah, I ain't going. I won't do all that. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna eat this thing, man. Just call it a day. But yeah. But I say all of that to say, right? I then knew that that's something in my life that I just did not want to be without. Like I know that meat isn't something that I'm willing to give up.
Understood.
So in that moment, when I realized that, I understand that if I make a decision to go plant-based, unless I have to have some type of meat type texture. So I understand there are substitutes and things of that nature. But if I had to just go off of beans and different things like that, it just would not work for me. So I would make that decision for myself that I wouldn't start something that I know. See, there's the whole point of me saying this. I'm getting back around.
Because I mean, that was a whole TED talk before we got to the point.
I am getting back around to the point of what I'm trying to say, right? So what I'm trying to say is, I knew, 10 minutes later, I realized that for me, maybe a plant-based diet, just off the whim, a plant-based diet would not work for me. If I was to sit down and maybe have somebody give me some different options, then, you know, I may have a different opinion. But at that particular moment in time, I was like, nah, Benny gonna eat, live, and die meat eater at this point in life. And that's okay, because that's what works for me, right? That's what works for me, and it's not working for everybody. Some people be like, yo, I cut out meat for these reasons, right? Heart issues, health issues, or whatever the case may be. And as long as you can stick to that, then absolutely, that's great and that's fine, right? But you got to make those decisions for yourself. Ask yourself, what is the why, right? Are you doing it with the best intention? Is this going to work for my lifestyle? Okay. Is going, and then you got to understand, like Todd said, what are some of the sacrifices that comes with making this decision? And am I okay with some of the sacrifices that this is going to make for me, right? Mm-hmm. And if you can't answer those questions wholeheartedly and make decisions based off of those things wholeheartedly, then you're understanding that what you're about to jump into is going to be considered a diet for you and not necessarily a lifestyle.
Yep.
Yes. So good stuff today. Thank you, Todd, for coming on and rapping about this food stuff. Do not forget. Don't not forget. Well, like, what did I get?
Well, remember.
Don't not forget. Remember. That's a better way of saying that, right?
Remember.
Remember that we have a 14-day no or stop snacking challenge that's coming up the 8th, November the 8th through the 21st. It is a 2-week coaching habit. We are going to help you to stop snacking for those folks who, snacking is a big part of why people's diets fail as well, or their nutrition plan or system fails. A lot of people often tell us that, Benny, I don't really eat that much, right? But they don't really realize that when they are snacking, they're eating, right? I don't eat that much, but you do. You just replace food for snacks, or you replace snacking for meals, but those meals add up over the time, right? And that's what really hurts you when you're talking about weight loss and fat loss and those types of things. So we are doing a 14-day no snacking or stop snacking challenge week of November the 8th through the 21st. I put the link in the comments. I'm not sure if it posted everywhere, but I can post it on my page as well. It is from the 8th to the 21st. It is a 2-week habit coach-based program. It will help you eat regularly throughout the day while being in tune with your hunger and fullness cues, something that I know I struggle with my fullness cues because I eat pretty fast. And when you're slowing down how you eat, then that will help you to understand if you are still hungry or full. And it will pretty much help you to reconnect with your body. So this is going to be from the 8th through the 21st, and I'll put a link up for this in the description. So you guys should do it. It is absolutely free, free.com. So we would love to see you on there and getting some of this work, all right? We'll have a Facebook group for it as well. You're going to get a lot of coaching, a lot of accountability with it. We're going to be giving you some education tools. There'll be a daily check-in and all different things that you can do during this challenge. So make sure you guys are clicking on that link that I posted and get on board with that. So that's all we got for you today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you get some tips from this. And we'll see you soon. All right. Peace.
Bye.